I think it's pretty safe to say that by far one of the big reasons as to why a lot of fans around the world are very excited for the rise of Skywalker is that J.J. Abrams is bringing back the use of space battles, lightsaber duels, land battles, you name it, in a different way than we have ever seen before in the Star Wars franchise. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So that is of course the big, thing that a lot of fans, including myself, am looking forward to, is to see exactly how he is going to utilize all these different space battles, all these different land battles and lightsaber duels, etc., etc. That's really going to make this film stand out on its own from The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. Now these past couple of weeks or so we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now specifically, shot descriptions consisting of both Kylo Ren and Rey engaging in a lightsaber duel, where it's said that they are both fighting through the trenches of the First Order battlefield. It's said to be a very fast-paced lightsaber battle between the two at this point during the third act of the movie, where one of the other sequences involves a moment in which Kylo jumps out of the trenches, as does Rey, where they are now fighting in the middle of a chaotic war between the Resistance and the First Order. The next involves a sequence in which they lock their blades together, where the environment around them begins to shift to the world of Tatooine, where it's explained that they are now fighting in front of Jabba's palace on Tatooine during the binary sunset. It's said that John Williams worked on a revised track of the Force theme that is set to go along with their duel on Tatooine in front of Jabba's palace to create a nostalgic feel to the sequence. One of the other scenes involves a moment where their sabers lock again, and as the environment morphs, it changes to the city of Theed, where they are now fighting in the very streets seen since Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, giving the prequel fans tons of nostalgia during their duel. The brief fight in Theed is said to be a very tight battle between the two, where Rey even performs moves of bouncing herself off the walls of different buildings. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this. This is obviously one of the flash fights in Episode 9. Now, a lot of people have been expressing their concern over flash fights and whether or not this really fits Star Wars. In case you guys are just tuning in right now, flash fights are basically a mixture of flashbacks and flash forwards, force bonds, and mixing that in with a lightsaber duel. So basically, this is JJ's way of bringing the fans down a trip to memory lane and showing us different worlds and locations that we are all very familiar with in the Skywalker saga in one particular scene. Now, part of me says it's very clever, the other part of me says it's very risky, and it is. It is a big risk by Disney and Lucasfilm to create something so different, something so unique and strange for the Star Wars universe that we have never seen. So it really is, taking a big chance on whether or not it's really going to resonate with Star Wars fans. So the thing that really gets me the most, that surprises me the most, is how they are going back to the city of Theed from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, in The Phantom Menace, we got the planet of Naboo, we got a little look at the city of Theed, and this is JJ's way of really giving us a nice callback to Episodes 1, 2, 3, whatever have you. Now, their fight on Tatooine is said to involve Jabba's palace in the background, where both Rey and Kylo are locking their blades together and engaging in a very specific type of duel, where John Williams was actually said to record a track that is going to be a revised version of the Force theme in order to give fans another nostalgic feel back to when Luke Skywalker was viewing the binary sunset. Now again, like I say, this really seems like a clever way for J.J. Abrams to bring us back to the world of Tatooine. We do know that Tatooine is going to show up in a couple of scenes in this movie, and it's really going to be quite unique and a very interesting experience, I must add, because if you think about the flash fights, right? The flash fights are something that we have never seen before in Star Wars canon material. It's going to basically shift from planet to planet, to different location to location, where the First Order battlefield is said to be the very start of their major duel. Now, that brings us to another location here. Now, the First Order battlefield, how it has a lot of trenches, you can see how JJ is modeling this battle off of World War I. Now, as they are fighting, a big battle is happening between the First Order and the Resistance, as well as Maz Kanata's pirates in the background. It's just total chaos in the background as Rey and Kylo are fighting each other to the death. So, from what it seems, this does match directly with John Boyega and what he said about this film. of it being an all-out war and a war to end all wars. It surely is. Now, if we look at Episode 9 as a film on its own, I will say, and I've always expressed this before, it feels like it's going to be a movie, a true sequel to The Force Awakens, as opposed to a sequel to that of The Last Jedi. That's just how I see it right now. That's just my gut feeling, is that it feels like a sequel to Episode 7 more than it does for Episode 8. I don't know why. I guess it's because JJ's back and he's bringing in a lot of nostalgia and he's really doing something true to the Skywalker saga and is trying to do something very original. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.